to the lobby corps and then doing their bidding at the expense of the American people. But there certainly is intent, and it's an intent driven almost exclusively by personal ambition. It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Matt Gaetz has been accused of allegedly sleeping with a girl who was 17 at the time they slept together. This has been a huge allegation going on for some time now, but some new possible evidence has been brought to light by someone else. There was a woman who was at the party where this crime allegedly happened in 2017, and she said she saw the girl that Matt Gaetz was accused of sleeping with at the time, naked at the party, surrounded by Matt Gaetz and other men. This investigation started in 2020 when they probed into Matt Gaetz's friend, who pled guilty to one of the charges being sex trafficking of minors. So Matty Boy has been fighting these allegations ever since. Just slinging accusations, throwing out names, trying to lay the blame on anyone, anywhere but him.
First of all, who is this Department of Justice former employee who's trying to extort the money from you, you say?
His name is David McGee. He was a top official in the leadership in the Northern District of Florida as a prosecutor. He currently works at the Beggs and Lane law firm.
Tucker Carlson's face is fantastic in this interview. He always looks vaguely concerned and kind of confused and lost, but I've never quite seen him look so confused and concerned as I do in this interview. And he looks even more concerned after Gaetz throws him into the situation and says, no, you were there. You met the woman, right? We had dinner together. You remember. You're a part of this.
Dinner about 2 years ago, your wife was there, and I brought a friend of mine. You'll remember her. And she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble. And so
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly. But I would like to know who. So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl who you had a relationship with. Is that true? And who are they? Who is this girl? What are they talking about at the New York Times?
The person doesn't exist.
Gaetz interview, that was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted.
You know you stumbled and fumbled if you come out of an interview with Tucker Carlson as a fellow conservative and he goes, wow, that was one of the weirdest interviews I have ever conducted. He really clenched the victory there when it came to proving the allegations false. I think he did a real sound, fantastic job. You know you're an incredibly grimy, gross human being when your fellow conservative politicians are saying that you are a grimy, disgusting human being.
He will survive. Look, the House is a rough and rowdy place, but Mike Johnson is going to be just fine. I served 20 years in the military. It's my absolute honor to be in Congress, but I served with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid minors to have sex with him at drug parties. Bob Good endorsed my opponent, a known neo-Nazi. These people used to walk around with white hoods at night. Now they're walking around with white hoods in the daytime.
Now, nothing has technically been proven when it comes to this Matt Gaetz case yet. But do you think that man would say that on air with that much confidence if he didn't have the receipts? I mean, his friend was busted for sex trafficking minors. He's had a witness come forward and say, I was at that party, Gaetz was at that party, and that 17-year-old girl was at that party, and she was naked, and there were lots of drugs. And Matt Gaetz isn't really known for being a squeaky clean role model of a citizen.
It's been very clear, my thoughts on Matt Gaetz. I think he's an egotistical maniac.
If we're going to continue to have clowns like Matt Gaetz as part of the Republican conference, as part of this Congress, then you're going to have rules in place that prevent him from doing his charade every single week.
Matt Gaetz and those hardliners, they're a real problem. And I don't think the pyromaniacs are going to be satisfied after they've burned down one house. I think they're going to have an itching to go burn down a couple more.
Now, again, nothing has actually been proven in a court. However, Matt Gaetz has been subpoenaed to testify under oath, so we may find out some new information kind of soon. And based off of everything we've collected so far, it kind of seems like the writing is on the wall. I can't say he did it, but you can see it in my eyes. Hopefully we'll find out soon, and I can cover it then. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out some of my content that isn't news related, you can check out my personal YouTube channel at Bad Gamer Wyatt. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.